In the heart of Duskwood Hollow, nestled among the ancient trees, lay the ruins of an abandoned doll factory. Once a thriving business, it had been the source of cherished childhood toys until a tragic incident had shuttered its doors. Decades ago, a fire had consumed the factory, taking the lives of several workers and the owner's young daughter, Emily. The place had been abandoned ever since, deemed cursed by the locals who believed Emily's spirit still roamed the halls. One stormy night, a group of urban explorers ventured into the dilapidated factory, hoping to document its eerie history. Armed with cameras and flashlights, they crossed the threshold into the darkness. As they explored the decaying building, they came across rows of shattered doll molds and broken porcelain figures. It felt as though the dolls were silently watching them, their empty eyes filled with sorrow. The group soon split up, and each member ventured into different areas of the factory. It wasn't long before they began to hear the faint sound of a child's laughter echoing through the corridors. Panic set in as they realized they were the only living souls in the factory. One by one, they encountered apparitions of a little girl in a tattered white dress. Her eyes were hollow and filled with an insatiable longing. She whispered to them, pleading for their help to find her missing doll. In a state of terror, they gathered together and began searching for the doll. They finally discovered it hidden away in a dusty corner. As one of them picked it up, the factory erupted in a cacophony of ghostly wails and flickering lights. In their haste to escape, they left the doll behind, but the haunting image of Emily's desperate spirit stayed with them. The factory's curse had claimed them, and they were forever bound to the abandoned doll factory of Duskwood Hollow, their fates intertwined with Emily's tragic past. Over time, they found themselves haunted by relentless nightmares. In their dreams, they wandered through endless corridors of the factory, pursued by Emily's mournful cries. Each night, the dreams grew more vivid and terrifying. Their waking lives were no better. Unseen hands would rearrange their belongings, moving objects to mimic the sinister doll's expressions. Whispers filled the air, taunting and tormenting them. One by one, they descended into madness, unable to escape the curse that had bound them to the factory. Some were found in their homes, surrounded by dolls that seemed to have a life of their own, their eyes following anyone who entered the room. Others vanished without a trace, their fate a macabre mystery. Duskwood Hollow became a place of dread, shunned by locals who knew better than to venture near the cursed doll factory. Emily's laughter still echoed through the night, a chilling reminder that some horrors, once awakened, could never be put to rest. Blackwater Bay had always been a treacherous stretch of coastline, notorious for its deadly storms and shipwrecks. Among the wreckage of countless vessels, one stood out, a massive cargo ship named the SS Stygian. The SS Stygian had mysteriously run aground decades ago, its crew and cargo vanishing without a trace. Locals spoke of a curse that befell anyone who dared to venture near it after dark. One foggy evening, a group of thrill-seekers arrived at Blackwater Bay, intent on exploring the legendary shipwreck. Armed with cameras and flashlights, they boarded a rickety boat and set sail toward the eerie silhouette of the Stygian. As they approached, a bone-chilling mist descended upon them, obscuring their vision. The boat's engine sputtered and died, leaving them stranded beside the ghostly vessel. They boarded the Stygian cautiously, their hearts pounding. Inside, they discovered a scene frozen in time. Tables were set for a lavish banquet, plates laden with rotting food. Empty chairs surrounded them, and eerie laughter echoed through the empty halls. It was as if the crew had vanished mid-celebration. But the most unsettling discovery was the captain's logbook. Its pages were filled with entries that grew increasingly frantic and incoherent. The final entry read, "They hunger for our souls, and I fear we are next." In the darkness, they heard disembodied voices whispering tales of despair and death. Shadows danced on the walls, and the temperature dropped dramatically. Panic gripped them as they realized the curse was real. Desperate to escape, they fled the ship. But the mist had other plans. It swirled around them, disorienting and blinding them. When it cleared, they found themselves back on the shore, shaken and traumatized. Haunted by what they had witnessed, they vowed never to return to Blackwater Bay. But the curse of the SS Stygian followed them, manifesting in their nightmares and turning their lives into a living hell. The shipwreck's ominous presence continued to cast a shadow over the bay. A grim reminder that some mysteries should remain buried beneath the waves. Deep within the dense woods of Whispering Pines, there stood an abandoned asylum. Its ominous silhouette loomed like a specter from the past, a relic of a bygone era. The place had a sinister reputation, one that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Legend had it that Whispering Pines Asylum was built in the late 1800s to house the mentally ill. The stories of cruel treatments and inhumane conditions were whispered among the locals. The asylum was eventually closed down in the 1940s, but its dark history lingered like a malevolent ghost. One moonless night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to explore the abandoned asylum. Armed with flashlights and courage, they ventured into the decaying building. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the creaking floorboards and the distant sound of wind through shattered windows. As they delved deeper into the asylum's eerie corridors, they began to hear faint whispers, like tortured souls crying for release. Shadows danced on the walls, and inexplicable cold spots made them shiver. It became clear that they were not alone. Suddenly, a door slammed shut behind them, trapping them in a dimly lit room. Panic set in as the whispers grew louder and the temperature plummeted. They were at the mercy of forces they couldn't comprehend. Terrified, they tried to escape, but the asylum seemed to shift around them, its layout changing with every turn. They became hopelessly lost in a labyrinth of despair. The walls themselves seemed to close in on them, squeezing the life out of their courage. Hours turned into days, and hunger gnawed at their stomachs. The whispers grew more insistent, promising eternal torment. Their flashlights flickered and died, plunging them into total darkness. Madness began to creep into their minds, twisting their perceptions of reality. One by one, the teenagers disappeared into the asylum's shadows, their cries fading into the endless night. The last remaining survivor, driven to the brink of insanity, finally found an exit, stumbling out into the moonlit forest. But the asylum's curse did not release its grip on them. To this day, the survivor is haunted by the chilling memories of Whispering Pines Asylum. And the missing teenagers are said to roam the woods as vengeful spirits, forever trapped in the nightmare they dared to enter. The legend of the asylum grew even darker, and the woods of Whispering Pines became a place where the living dared not tread, for fear of becoming part of the horrifying legend themselves. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to become an official member of this channel. Just click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out. If you haven't already, smash that like button to show your support and let us know you're enjoying the content.